Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Slattery and I am the instruction librarian here at UT McDermott Library. Today I want to talk to you about ORCID ID accounts. I want to explain what they're for and why you should register. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about exactly is I'm going to explain what is an ORCID ID, why you should register, how do you register with ORCID, and how do you utilize your ORCID ID effectively after you register. I don't want to leave you in the dark about ORCID after we finish this presentation. So, what exactly is an ORCID ID? An ORCID ID is, the word ORCID actually stands for Open Researcher and Contributor Identifier. As you may have guessed, it's like a unique identifier that attaches to you, but for research purposes. So it is like a DOI for researchers. You can attach your ORCID ID to you and assign your work to you. So anything you create throughout your academic career will be tied to you through your ORCID ID. So let's say you create a grant proposal, or you have published a paper, or you did a presentation at a conference. All of those can be attached to the ORCID ID, so that way those works get credited to you, basically. You get the credit for doing those things. So it's becoming an increasingly popular resource for researchers. There's been over 9 million signups already for ORCID ID. So I'm going to show you real quick what an ORCID profile looks like. So this is the ORCID website. I'll walk you through the website in just a little bit, but here is the profile of a faculty member. So David Smith. So he currently works at the University of Texas in Dallas in bioengineering. You can see his employment history, his education, and then you can see his funding, the grants that he has earned. You can see all the work that he's published, and so on. Like they have the DOIs attached to them. They can see when they were published, and so on and so forth. It's a great way to get an overview of somebody's history and their academic career. So that is one of the main reasons to get an ORCID ID, is so you can start building a profile and construct a broad overview of your academic career. So let me go ahead and, there we go. So, ORCID ID wants to resolve some key issues. So, one of the things that you may have run into is the issue of names. So, let's say you have a common name like Jane Smith. There are maybe multiple people in the field with a similar name as you, making it difficult to find you. Like the Jane Smith who works in chemistry is going to be different from Jane Smith who works in sociology, very different fields. They're publishing totally different papers, but somebody might get confused and try to find you. You talk to somebody at the conference, they got your name, but then they don't realize that you're pretty common and they can't find you. That's what ORCID ID does. It helps separate those people out. It also can help you if you ever change your name for whatever reason, like you get married, you change your name, or your name's been translated to different languages, and so on and so forth. It prevents a mistaken identity. Another good reason to use ORCID ID for names is because you can add other names or name variations to your account to make sure people can find you in the first place. So let me just go ahead and show you an example. So we're back here, and I'm going to search for a very common name. See, all those different Jane Smiths right here. So we got one University of Texas Health, University Exeter Medical School, So one of the things that you can see right here is that they have separate Orchid ID accounts. So it makes it easier to find who's who. So another good reason to use Orchid ID is it helps increase visibility. If people can't find you in the first place, you don't exist. And then your opportunities will be limited as a result. So when your work is easier to find, increases your visibility, people funding research, people who might want to partner with you on the project, other academics in your field can discover you. So Orchid ID can potentially lead to more opportunities for you. It creates like I've said before, it creates a broad overview of all your work in one easy to find place. It has your grants, your scholarships, your education, your employment history, peer reviews, projects, all that in one place. So it makes it easier to really get an idea of who you are as an academic scholar, Another very, very good reason to use Orchid ID, it can save you time. I'm not sure how many of you remember applying to jobs everywhere. You have to fill out all these forms, and then you have to do it again for a different university, and you have to do it over and over. And I'm guessing it could be the same way when you're applying for publication or for a grant. You have to fill out these forms with all your details over and over. Save that time. Give them your Orchid ID and they will pull all that data for you and put it on your form, and it saves you so much more time that way. You have better things to do than fill out a bunch of forms with information that you already given them before. So that is one good way. You have better things to do, like watch Netflix, for example, than filling out these forms. And for probably that same reason, Orchid ID is also becoming more required. Some publishers and journals will require you to submit your Orchid IDs when you're publishing, or some grants will ask you to provide your Orchid ID so that they can review your profile and see what you've been up to and how this might affect your grant proposal and so on and so forth. So some Orchid IDs also integrate into other services, allowing them to share data and connect with each other. One resource is Publons, which allows you to sync your peer review history to your Orchid account. Scopus and Researcher ID also connect to Orchid along with Crestwref and DataCite, who can automatically update your profile for you. Here's a big reason why to use Orchid ID. It's free. There are no fees associated with registering for Orchid ID. The university and the library pays it on your behalf, so you don't have to pay anything at all. And Orchid IDs are not tied to your university, so when you register at UT Dallas, and then you move to a different university for whatever reason, you can take that account with you. It's not attached to the university, it's attached to you. Just update your account information and you're good to go. So, how do you register? It's really simple. You just go to the website here. Then you end up here. So this is where you put in your name, your last name, optional, and your primary email. I would suggest you sign up with your university email so that way it verifies that you're affiliated with that organization. And then you can add an additional email right here. So an additional email will be your personal email. It can be your Gmail address, your Yahoo address, your Hotmail address, whatever you use. Make sure to add in the second email because your account's going to be registered with your school email. And if you ever leave the university or the company for whatever reason, you may lose access to that email. So you want to back up just to make sure that you can still access your ORCID account. Once you do that, you will get a verification email. You click on the link that it has and then you go from there. You can start adding to your profile and do whatever. But one thing I really want to note is that ORCID gives you a lot of control over the information that you give to ORCID. Basically, you can change it to where certain parts of your profile can be visible to only certain people, or it can be locked down, like nobody can see it except for you. You can do this not just your whole profile. You can also set certain portions of it. I don't want to let people know where you've worked for whatever reason. You can just hide that information. Or maybe you want to change it so that only the grant submitter, grants overseeing boards can see your education. You can change that as well. It's really up to you. Let me show you what this looks like on the ORCID profile. So as you can see here, this is my ORCID profile, and I have it in my employment at UT Dallas right here. I've set it so where everybody can see it. And then you see that I've gone to Texas A&M University for my BA in English Literature, and it's set to only private. I don't want anybody knowing that I went to Texas A&M. I'm not like embarrassed of Texas A&M. I just don't want people knowing that I went there. So that's one way that you can set up. You can also add in. You can change it at any time. You can do whatever is up to you. That is under your control. So after you register, keep those privacy controls in mind, as in you add in your information, your biography, your education, your prior employment, keywords you associated with you, your preferred name, any alternate names, like if you change your name due to marriage or whatever reason. And then you can add in your publications, anything you've worked on, articles, books, presentations. You can import citations, or you can manually add them one by one. And then you can also link your ORCID account to Scopus, or you can add it to Researcher ID or LinkedIn. There's a lot to go through, but make sure you take the time to go through each one. So after you get set up, you can start including ORCID in your email signature, your conference presentations, your grant submissions. You can print out a printer-friendly copy of your profile, or you can produce a QR code and you can put that in your PowerPoint presentations, and it links to your ORCID profiles. If people put their smartphones and use a QR app to find it, I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So right here is very easy. See, public record print view, and then it creates a printable version. So obviously it's not showing anything right now because my privacy settings are toggled. Let me just fix those and then try that again. And there you go. So you can just print that out real quickly. And then here is a QR code right here. So you can just copy and paste that into your PowerPoint presentation. It's just that easy. Since ORCID and Scopus can connect with each other, you can also search for ORCID IDs through Scopus. This might be useful if you don't know who the author is or you don't have any information at all and you just have the ORCID ID. That way you can look up everything that is hosted within Scopus and give you more information about the author, citations, and so on and so forth. I'm going to show you how to access Scopus real quick. So you can access Scopus through the library website. So you start here on the library homepage, and then you go to databases, and then just make it real simple. You just hit S. S for Scopus. You scroll down until you find it right here. Okay. And then it'll ask you to log in with your net ID and password. And then you end up here. So from here, you just go to this right here, and then you change it so it searches for ORCID right here at the very bottom, and then you just give it an ORCID ID. So just use this one as an example. And then here we are. It searches for all the articles that was by this author. So it's a great way to just quickly find everything. You know, in case their ORCID profile hasn't updated from their most recent articles, and then you can just look them up right here. So to sum it up, ORCID ID can really help you, you know, with the name issue. Like, it helps you find you and make sure the work that you do is attached to you specifically. You know, for example, if you have a very common name, you want to stand out in your field, you want to make sure people find you, this is the way to do it. It saves you time and effort, you know, have all this information compiled together in one place, you know, and then if you keep it updated, and sometimes some services can update that information for you automatically. And so just keep it all together in one place, and it makes it so much easier to apply for certain things and so on and so forth. It makes you visible. It makes you available for opportunities, and all in all, it's a great way to showcase what you're doing, because if you don't do that, then you're invisible, your work's not getting out there, and you're doing yourself a disservice in the long run. So just do it. It's free. You have control over it. Alright? Thank you very much for watching today's video workshop. As always, you can reach out to me. My name is Ryan Slattery, and you can reach me at ryan.slattery@utdallas.edu. You can also access all this information on the library website. I'm going to link to this ORCID LibGuide in the video information below, so make sure to check that out. And, you know, feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. Thank you very much for watching today. Have a wonderful day.